the reason why majority of this masculine behavior was happening is because I was rebelling. I was craving or seeking something that I didn't have. My natural instinct was problem solving because I was leading with my masculine energy. I was just ready to go and anyone could get it. I was ready to counteract that, to argue my case like I was in a courtroom trial. Men don't want to be mothered. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told what not to do. They don't want to be told off, okay? Hi, my name is Lorraine and I'm a recovering masculine woman in her soft woman era, and I love it here. That sounded really rehearsed, but on a serious note, I used to be part of the unemotional, analytical, competitive, task-orientated, strong, and independent women society. Yeah, I had to hand in my resignation because I was working twice as hard to go through life and just being constantly exhausted. It was time consuming because being masculine is not my natural predisposition. So when I became a softer woman and started leading with my feminine energy, I was like, oh, I've been missing out, because I was able to get everything that I wanted. I exerted less energy and life was just so much more enjoyable as a softer feminine woman. I stopped trying to be more feminine or emulate other women who presented as more feminine, because that was kind of perpetuating the notion that I wasn't feminine to begin with, which is absolutely not the case, because as women we already possess feminine energy. I just needed to tap into it more and to lead with my feminine energy. If you're new, hello, my name is Lorraine and I'm your self-care soul sister. It's just general good vibes over here, so subscribe to the channel and join the family. So just a few differences when it comes to masculine and feminine traits. Masculinity is about being active, doing, being aggressive, being dominant, whereas femininity is about receiving, just being, a relaxing energy, being nurturing, being empathic. Although we have both feminine and masculine energy, actually leading with your natural disposition of being feminine is actually more productive and powerful. Listen, being feminine is actually a superpower. I never actually realized that I always used to operate in defense mode. Like, I was always ready to go. Anyone could get it. If somebody said something or did something to me and I interpreted it in a different way, meaning negative, let's be honest, I was ready to counteract that, to argue my case like I was in a courtroom trial, or just like defend myself. You know, I always just say things like, well, it's because of the things that I've been through, where I've come from, my culture, just to kind of defend or explain my point of view. But there comes a time where reasons become excuses. You can't keep on giving reasons or excuses why you do something or why you don't do something or why you're a certain way. Now, what are you going to do about it? It's great that you're self-aware, but what are you going to change about it? There's nothing worse than somebody who's self-aware but keeps doing the same thing over and over again. It's much better to have an ignorant person who doesn't even realize that they're doing something or why they're doing something. So this is something that I had to come to terms with myself, that Lorraine, it's great that you know that you have these triggers and you've had these experiences and these traumas which have shaped your behavior in the way that you are. But now, what are you going to do about it? Are you willing to put in the work to actually change that, to become better, to become softer? So this is when the inner work began, when I started healing my inner child, because the reason why majority of this masculine behavior was happening is because I was rebelling. I was craving or seeking something that I didn't have, or I hadn't taken the time to deal with things that I should have been dealt with years ago. By healing my inner child and my trauma and understanding my triggers and all the good stuff, I was just able to just let go and remove those defense mechanisms. I didn't need to be defensive anymore. I was more mindful and intentional about the way that I spoke, the way that I carried myself, the way that I responded to certain situations. You can say and do the same thing, but come across as more masculine than feminine because you are in defense mode. But now I just don't take offense to anything. Like literally everything is like a water off a duck's back to me. If anything, I'm actually trying to understand more where people are coming from in conversations when they say certain things or when they do certain things, to be able to put myself in people's perspective and not just be reactive and defensive. I've never been the most nurturing of people, so I always used to have like a tough love kind of approach. If somebody came to me with a problem, it would be like, okay, so how do we fix it? Instead of nurturing that person and comforting that person and being there for them and validating them and reassuring them. But the interesting thing was, this is what I wanted for myself. So if I was to go to somebody with a problem, the first thing that I would want from them is for them to comfort me, is for them to validate me, is for them to lift me up, and then help me come up with a solution. It was very interesting that I was not able to do that for other people, that my natural instinct was problem solving. Because I was leading with my masculine energy, I wasn't able to just be and just nurture and just to tap into my maternal instinct. For some reason, something just clicked in me when I had a baby. Because I was just naturally nurturing to my baby, it kind of also translated how I was with other people and how I was with other situations. Even when someone is in the wrong and they've done something wrong or done something maybe that I've advised them not to do in the past, my natural instinct is not to say, well, I told you so, well, you should not have done this, and this is what you need to do, and do this and do that and do that. My natural predisposition now is to comfort them, is to make them feel better, validate them, okay? And then we can start thinking about solutions. What do you think we should do? Okay, maybe if we do this and maybe if we do that, okay? Because in that moment, that person knows that they've done something wrong, and in that moment, that person knows that they should have listened to you. That's not what they're coming to you for. So when you're softer and more nurturing, it just means that people are less apprehensive about coming to you when they have a problem, or coming to you when they've done something wrong or when they've messed up, because they know that you're going to welcome them with open arms, you're going to nurture them, you're going to make them feel better, and you're just going to uplift them instead of just kicking them when they're down. And a quick side note, men don't want to be mothered, okay? They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told what not to do. They don't want to be told off, okay? There is nothing alluring or compelling about mothering a man, okay? This doesn't mean that you have to be a yes woman and you can't be honest with your partner when they've done something wrong. There's just a way to do it that's just a bit more feminine without telling them off and telling them what to do and scolding them. I have learned to be more flexible and less rigid. You guys know how much I love a routine, because I believe that routines are the best way of creating habits and just making things just more natural to you. But being organized and structured and being routine orientated can also sometimes make you rigid, and this is what I found, because it left me any room to be spontaneous, because in my mind this is what I had planned to do. So if somebody called me and they were like, oh Lorraine, you know, I haven't spoken to you in a while, let's catch up and let's do this. If I have made a plan that today all I'm doing is just creating content and filming YouTube videos, my instant response is to say no. Being softer means that you're just able to go with the flow sometimes. It doesn't mean that you can't be goal orientated or be disciplined, but there just needs to be the right kind of balance, which leaves room for flexibility. If there's one thing that I learn, is that things don't always go according to plan. So being more flexible has definitely made me feel more calmer, more softer, and just less stressed in general. I used to have a lot of people, well, men especially, who used to stop me in the street and would just say, smile darling, I'm sure it's not that bad. And that used to annoy me so much because I'll be thinking, oh, you just want to find a way to just stop me and just start conversation. But at the same time, I did actually used to catch myself in the mirror, like having like a resting, you know, face, you know, and I used to think, oh my God, like, is this how I look when I'm walking in the street or when I'm in a meeting? That just doesn't look soft or inviting or welcoming. I just used to look like harsh, like I was really angry or upset, and majority of the time that wasn't even the case. It's not that I was upset or angry or I was thinking about something that was annoying me. I don't know why my face just resorted to looking angry and resorted to looking like somebody owed me money. This is something that I've had to be really intentional about, okay? To actually smile more, to be more aware about my facial expressions. And this can seem like it's quite easy, and maybe it is for some people, but for someone like me who just had that resting, you know what, face, it's not something that came naturally to me. So literally throughout the day, no matter what I'm doing, I'm just training myself just to smile. I do find that when I am smiling, it just makes me feel happier, and it just makes people more receptive to me. It creates a kind of alluring energy, just makes you more charming. Smiling has really been helping me to tap into my feminine energy and just make me a softer woman. I am a busy woman with a lot on my plate and a never-ending to-do list, but there will always be a new milestone for you to reach. There will always be a goal that you want to achieve. I have learned the importance of just taking time out for myself, not doing anything, not thinking about anything, but just being present and just being in the moment. There is a reason why self-care is a huge phenomenon when it comes to women. A lot of people ask me, you know, what's the big deal about just, you know, wearing an eye mask and a face mask and running a bubble bath and lighting candles, okay? That is looking after yourself. You are practicing just being, okay? You are tapping into your feminine energy where you're not task orientated, where you're not thinking about the next thing and your mind is not racing, but you are being present and you're being in the moment. So no matter how busy life gets and my to-do list continues to grow, I always take time out for myself, sit on the sofa and watch feel-good movies. And I've actually started to reincorporate journaling into like my day-to-day life, because obviously with a baby, like it was just getting a bit much for me. But when she's sleeping at night time, when I'm just unwinding, okay, and I'm having my unwind routine, that's another way that I just allow myself to just be, is having an unwind routine, okay? But yeah, so I use journaling just to jot down my thoughts and to jot down my feelings, be at one with myself, be at one with my feelings. I actually used to think that I was more receptive than I actually was, because who doesn't like being complimented, right? Being told they look good, they look nice, and being helped and just existing in their damsel in distress aura. But it was only when I started my softer woman journey that I realized that I wasn't as receptive as I thought that I was. If somebody, for example, said they liked my shape or my figure, I would say, oh, thanks, but my arms are really huge. I need to lose more weight on my thighs, and I've got back rolls and my food pod chart, okay? Instead of just accepting the compliment for what it was, I would kind of invalidate it by putting more emphasis on the things that I didn't like about my body or the things I was just insecure about in general. My mindset at the time was, I'm being humble and I don't want to come across as arrogant or facetious, but being humble and humility doesn't mean that you have to bring yourself down. It's okay to receive gifts. It's okay to say thank you so much and appreciate when somebody is paying you a compliment, and revel in that glory instead of just minimizing it or trying to put emphasis on the negative. Paying attention more on the positive that's coming your way, being receiving of the positivity that's being given to you, just makes you more softer. Even when somebody offers to help you to do do something. In my mind, I always used to think, well, I can do this on my own. Like when this person's not here, I just get on with it. I just do it. But no, if that person's there and they're offering to make you a cup of tea, to cook for you, to drive for you instead of you driving, or anything that you might think, oh, actually, you know, it's better if I do it. If I do it, it's going to be better. Sometimes just let people help you. Sometimes just let people take care of you. Instead of just being in go, go, go mentality and task orientated and I can do it all bad by myself, let somebody else help you, because I found that this has just made me softer. This is something that I'm still working on, okay, because I still catch myself when somebody pays me a compliment where I just kind of like disregard it, but I just have to catch myself and just show my appreciation and say thank you. I hope this has been helpful for your own soft woman era. If you have any other ways, behavior or otherwise, to tap into your own feminine energy, then comment them down below. If you come all this way, thank you so much, but do not click off from this video without subscribing to my channel. Press the notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Make sure you watch this video because I'm sure you're gonna love it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah. Bye lovelies.